Hey guys, welcome back to episode 6 of Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. So I thought I'd take a minute to talk about some of the building plans I have going forward. I was doing a bit of building this morning, trying to finish off the storage area room and just try to get an idea of the outline of where things are going to be placed. So I finished up the roofs on one of the processing rooms here and also on the storage room. So I'm happy with the way most of it turned out, but there's still a few things I'd like to change just to get it looking a bit better, because some of the things still look a little bit strange. Once more of the land around it has been developed on, I think it'll work itself out. And there's another decision I have to make is, do I want to have everything under the one roof, or do I want to have some open space in the middle there? For example, in front of the storage room, I'm not sure if I want to roof that off or if I want to keep it open. So I just hit recording here and I realised, or I was just turning this corner. I was going to explain that we got this reactor set up and it's been running really well. I increased the injection rate and then the particles went out. And then I looked in here and saw we had no deuterium because our electrolytic separator had run out of energy. So basically what happened was I had set the power on the matter fabricator. I turned this redstone signal off so that it was running all the time and it was consuming all the power, and apparently we don't have enough power to keep that on all the time without having some sort of control over it. So hopefully that won't happen again, and luckily I made some backup starter fuel here, so let's just start this up again. I'll have to keep an eye on that, but that shouldn't happen. I just thought that we could run this reactor without controlling the matter fabricator. Anyway, now that we have power, I set up permanently well, I'm not sure if it's permanent, it might move, but I set up the laser drill again. So that's getting us a few unique ores here, and I also upgraded both void ore miners to tier 4, which is the highest we can go at the minute, and also a resource miner tier 3. The resource miner is getting us some Nether rack and also endstone to sieve, and that gives us some of the nuclear craft ores. And obviously I worked on these builds here. I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to work this section in here. I don't know if I want a roof over this or not. That's something I still have to think about. I really should get a astral sorcery ritual to stop all the mobs spawning, because it's getting really bad with all the roofs on now and tons of dark spots. I nearly had creepers running off these roofs here. So now we have enough power. I'd like to further upgrade to tier 5 on the void ore miners, but for that we need nether stars because of these structure frames require 1 nether star each. I think we need around 50 or so. So I want to at least partially automate the wither killing. For that we'll need obviously wither skulls, but I don't think I want to set up a dedicated farm for that, as we can just print them here. If I recall right, they're pretty expensive, but since we only need a couple stacks, it's not going to be that bad. We have a fair amount of UU matter here and our power's pretty decent now, so I can always bump up the production here. Long term, I think we're going to use mystical agriculture to get nether stars and just grow them. So in order to kill the wither, I'm going to use the mob crusher. To keep the wither contained, I'm going to use the shield projector from RF tools, and this generates a force field through the use of RF to keep the wither in place, and then I'll use the mob crusher to kill him, and obviously the wither builder, which is another really good machine from Industrial Foregoing. This thing, so you just give it wither skeleton skulls and soul sand, and it'll spawn the wither above it. I think I'll set it up in this tower here, as I don't really have a better use for it. So, and it is also going to be temporary, so yeah, I'll start getting the stuff we need and start setting this up. Alright, we need 1 nether star in order to get the wither builder, and I don't really feel like fighting this guy legit, so let's just use our OP laser gun and one shot him. Okay, I've set up our shield here, so I have this set on solid for hostile mobs, so we can go through, but hopefully once this wither builder builds the wither, it should keep them in place there. And then I've got a mob crusher here, so I want to just do a quick test run just to make sure we're not going to have withers all over the place once I load this up. I need to go and grab the printed skulls here. So let's just put in enough for one just now, and let's see how this goes. I should make a backup. Okay, let's do this. Wither spawned. This is going to be loud. Please die. Wait, why didn't he die? We have enough power. I'll check the reactor. Yeah, reactor's still running, so we're still at 718,000 RF a tick, and it's maximum capacity. So I think we're limited because of these energy conduits. They only transfer 125,000 a side. I want to try doing this again just to make sure we don't get anything weird before I set it up and walk away. Oh, I didn't put the range add-on on the mob crusher, did I? That would probably help. Alright, let me get one of those. Stupid builder's wand. I just went to try and raise the floor here and it got my whole base. I'm drowning in stone here. Alright, I moved a few things around here. I got the drawers on the front. I just have this extracting soul sand and wither skeleton skulls into the wither builder. I've got the mob crusher here with the range add-on, so that should now get the wither. Let's try this one more time before we load it up. I should turn this down as well, I forgot. Nice, so the wither was killed. Hopefully the drops come back in here. Oh, I have to set the extract actually. Okay, I've set the extracts now. The items should now go into the drawers. I'll lock those. And later on I'll put a storage bus on here so that I can view it from the ME system. But for now, I'm going to just print a bunch of skulls off, kill a few withers, and get enough for at least one of the upgrades for the void miners. And as I say, this is all just a temporary setup. Long term we're going to be using seeds in order to grow nether stars, so this doesn't need to be super complex or anything. So this is working quite well. In total I need 72 nether stars, so I'm going to watch these guys die for a bit and then I'll come back once I have the things for the ore miner. Alright, so I managed to get over a stack of nether stars here. I got 93, I think I needed 72, so this should be enough to get us to the next tier void ore miner. They also require these reflectors, which is just a bunch of nested crafting. So I think I need 2 of these, dense copper plates. Let's just add this recipe in as well. It helps to name your interfaces as well, makes it really easy to see what everything is. So that should be able to give us 2 of these. There we are, that's our tier 5 void ore miner. Alright, it should have everything I need for the tier 5 now. So I'll take this out and replace it with our tier 5 void ore miner. Where's my assembler? So again, there's one more tier after this, tier 6, but we still can't get there yet because we're waiting on the crystals. Just one more laser, that should do us. There we go. So how much power are we using here? 165,000. That's quite a bit, but we can handle that. Honestly, it shouldn't take too long to get to tier 6 in order for us to get draconium. This only requires the crystals from the tier 5, this aethium, which shouldn't take too long considering the speed that the void ore miner we have. More of these iridium reflectors and also pellets of RTG. Now this requires dense iron plates, that's very easy, and plutonium, which I already have and can be replicated. So as soon as we have enough aethium, we should be able to get draconium. While we wait for these void ore miners, I want to set up a power storage. So I want to use the induction cells from Mekanism. These induction casings, they hold a lot of RF. I'm not sure exactly what the limit is, but it's way more than we'll ever need. Alternatively, I could use a draconic energy ball. They hold a lot as well, but I don't know where I would put that. So I think I'm just going to go with the induction casings, and I'll probably put it close to the reactor somewhere. I don't think they're too hard to craft here. I think it's just a lot of steel nested crafting. Yeah, we have all this set up. So the biggest resource cost is these induction cells, which is what hold the energy itself. That's just yeah, as you go up higher tiers, it gets a lot of basically one uses the other, and we obviously want to get the best one because we're making a lot of power. There's no point in going for the smaller one at this point. So yeah, I've got a bunch of recipes to put in. We might have to get some more lithium as well. So because we're using the thermal evaporation towers, we're producing a lot of lithium, and we can use that in a chemical dissolution chamber, if I remember right. One of the machines anyway. We can turn some of the lithium we're getting from here out of these thermal evaporation towers into lithium dust, which is one of the primary things used here. So I'm going to put in a bunch of recipes here and I'll get this set up. I'm just putting a quick setup here next to our calcium sulfate production for lithium. So if we look at the uses for liquid lithium, first we have to convert the liquid into a gas and then put that through the chemical crystallizer, and that gets us the lithium dust, which we can use for the induction crafts. So I should just be able to hook this up. Hopefully I have this the right way. Yeah, I just had to toggle the operation here. So this is producing lithium, and then if we take our chemical crystallizer, place that down, and then have, what would it be, gases in the left. So I have to rotate this. There we go. So that should now be making lithium dust. I might set up a few of these because this looks pretty slow, and I'll have to upgrade them as well, but I'll see. Okay, I'll just put the outputs here into an ender chest. That should be, this will be hooked up to our drawer system. So if I just insert a brown here, we should now be getting lithium dust. 38, 39, yep. Looks like they're all running. Why are these out of power? Oh, I didn't hook up the conduits here. There we go. I'll need to add speed upgrades, but I'll do that. And I'll put some clean blocks and facades and things around here. Alright, I just had to edit the recipe here because I had the IC2 dust instead of the Mekanism dust, which is the one we're using with that setup there. So we should now be able to request all these induction casings. I'll start with, I don't know, 40 for now. We can always get more. 2 induction ports, and I'll request 1 ultimate Right, let me put some upgrades and get the materials. Alright, one quick adjustment I made here is I swapped the energy channel on this power cell as well as the power cell on our first reactor here, this one here, the one that produces only a couple thousand, and I switched these to only run the IC2 replicator here. So now this is getting 2 reactors worth of power in the matter fabricator, and our main mechanism reactor is running everything else in the base. Another thing we should probably look at getting is ore processing, as I'm still just building the ores with the builder there and auto smelt pickaxing them. So that's probably something I'll do after the induction cell. But I was short a few hundred iron, which you can get very easily here. So we should be able to now craft the induction provider, was it? Yeah, I got one provider, and I'm going to start with 1 cell as well. Okay, I got our induction matrix built for energy storage. I just tucked it into the wall here. For now I have this janky wiring, but this obviously won't stay like this. So you need 2 ports, one you need to configure with the configurator, one for input, one for output. Yeah, in order for us to actually use this, we'll have to upgrade these cables because we are limited by the 125,000 RF input and output of these Ender energy conduits from Ender IO. So that's something that I'll have to do really soon, actually, before we even do anything else. And then after that I want to look at setting up some ore processing, because if we look at our ores right now, we have hundreds of thousands of ores backlogged. As for how we're going to process the ores, I think I'm just going to straight smelt them for most of them. I'll have to work out like a list and separate out the ones or the ways I want to process, because not all ores can be directly smelted. But since we're getting so many ores, I mean, we already have hundreds of thousands, I don't think there's really much need to ore double, or even 6x I think is maybe the max in this pack through Mekanism. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think there's really any need to multiply ores, just because of the sheer amount we're getting from these ore miners, and also the sifting setup here. I was having a look at the quest book here, and we're actually pretty deep here. Environmental tech's nearly done. I haven't started Ender IO because I need titanium, which is easy to get from other planets, and I think that's something we'll probably do next after we have the ore processing. We have everything we need to make the advanced rocketry parts, like these cell frames. We have those automated. We have the elite platings now that we have the crystal binder. So it's just a bunch of multi-block machines for advanced rocketry, and then I'll set those up in this space here, this area. And then yeah, we just launch a rocket, and then I'll probably set up a digital miner on a different planet to mainly get rutile ore. So that's the next big step to take. And then obviously we still have magic. I haven't done anything else with that. I think I will move this over here and put Britannia there. Then yeah, it's just upgrading these void ore miners. That'll give us draconium, and that'll allow us to get a bit further into draconic evolution. But I think that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We have to get titanium first and probably start magic. But yeah, I'm going to fix our energy situation and just make a few cryostabilized flux ducts to move the energy. I'll probably do some more building and terraforming around here and see what I can come up with, especially for this area here. It needs tidied up. In fact, a lot of the base needs tidied up. These pillars on top of here, this walkway needs to lead somewhere. So yeah, I've got a lot to figure out here, but yeah, that's about all the time I have for today. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.